So back in 2013, Warren St. John profiled Nick Saban for GQ magazine. The year before, Saban had just whipped the Bayou Bengals in the BCS national title game 21-0 at the Superdome. But like many old men with money and not enough pain in their lives, Saban is a golfer. He also boasts fellow masochists who join him in this most humiliating of sports, where the whole point is to use a misshapen twig to hit a ball the size of a baboon's testicle into a hole so small, gophers refer to it as Section 8 housing. They call each other golfing buddies. I understand some of y'all watching this got them. Anyway, Steve Rumsey, who made his fortune in waste removal when he had an epiphany on his frat house couch, as many do on the commode, is one of Saban's golfing buddies. He and I both watched Saban win over Les Miles. Difference is, he had Nick Saban's phone number and I don't. And now for the part of Warren's profile I need you to hear, and I'm quoting here. Given that his golf buddy had just won the national championship, Rumsey figured he ought to save a few words of congratulations. So he did, telling Saban his team had pulled off an impressive win. That damn game cost me a week of recruiting, Saban grumbled into the phone. Rumsey pointed out that Saban and his team had just been on national television before millions of people, including, most likely, every high school recruit in the country, and reminded Saban that they had won the national championship. I said, I'm not sure, but I think that helped you, Rumsey recalled. And he said, I just don't know, maybe that was good, end quote. Now, the best part of that story is not knowing Saban still pulled together the #1 class in 2013 according to the 247 Sports Composite. It's the knowledge that he might not have. That class included Reuben Foster, Derrick Henry, O.J. Howard, and Alvin Kamara. To understand what drives Saban, we need only pick up Robert Penn Warren's All the King's Men. The end of man is knowledge, but there's one thing he can't know. He can't know whether the knowledge will save him or kill him. He will be killed, all right, but he can't know whether he is killed because of the knowledge which he has got or because of the knowledge which he hasn't got, which if he had, it would save him. Put back into college football terms, Nick Saban would rather be out recruiting than answering questions from tempestuous typists and radio howlers like me from Podium. Truthfully so would Lincoln Riley. Riley and Baylor coach Matt Rhule are among just a few, like less than a dozen, FBS coaches and staff members who have a unique challenge ahead of them this week. Just 3 weeks before the early signing period for football begins, they won't be out recruiting. Not at the start anyway. Saban will, and you damn well know why. The contact period on the NCAA recruiting calendar begins on December 1 and extends until December 15th, 3 days before. The early signing period begins on December 18th. Both Riley and Rhule kept their teleconference and weekly press conference commitments because they're preparing to try to win the Big 12 championship game, while coaches who aren't as fortunate are already out recruiting. Saban's going to be, though, and you damn know well. Yeah, you know why. This means essentially giving your competition a week's head start on getting out and about to see commits, and more importantly, sway other recruits to your school and program with mere days left until that decision is made official for some. It's the closest thing to being penalized for winning. Not unlike how the teams who win the Super Bowl get the last pick in the NFL draft. It's kind of like it was in college football, only with recruiting this way. But Rhule took an opportunity to relay what a recruit gets out of coming to play college football in Waco, Texas, at his press conference on Monday. 2 birds, 1 stone here.
We don't recruit like a lot of other people. Like I don't spend all night on the phone with recruits. I spend time with my players that are here, and so sometimes in recruiting, people want to go to a logo, or sometimes they want to go to the coach that shows them the most love, right? And it's like my son is having a procedure done today. Okay, so he went up to Cook's Children's, not a big deal, like little thing, right? But my wife and I were trying to figure out what to do with our son. Like, I didn't send him to the doctor that had showed him the most love. I didn't send him to the doctor with the coolest looking hospital building. I sent him to the best. I sent him to the doctor that was the best. And I think what recruits will find out about us is, if you come here, you're going to get our best. We are going to develop you and take care of you and grow you and help you and have your back when things go wrong. We are loyalty above everything else. And so we're not maybe as flashy or swaggy as some other guys, but we are family over everything. And so recruits that are committed to us right now, I think they feel part of the family. And I think that they recognize, like, man, if I go there, it's a business decision. Like, if I go there and I go play for Coach Snow, I go play for Glenn Thomas, I'm going to get a great education. I'm going to get pushed outside my comfort zone. I'm going to come back different than when I left. That's a big, I mean, I see kids go off to colleges and they come back 4 years later, they're the same guy. Like, you don't come here and go back home the same as you were. You go back better. And then I'm going to be a really good football player and have a chance to play. I said when I got here, we'll have a chance to play for championships. You're going to get developed into a pro. You watch how many guys we have playing all-star games this year. We have how many guys we go to the combine this year. You watch how many guys get drafted this year, and none of them, except for maybe one or two, were on many radars. And so that's the biggest recruiting we can do, is that. It takes time for people to see that. But you know what? When you realize that you have one shot at going to college, picking the right college, and getting developed, you better go to the person that has the best credentials and can do it the best. There's a lot of great schools out there. This isn't for everyone, but if you come here, man, it's gonna be a great opportunity for you.
Now, at his press conference, Riley lamented the fact that he's not going to get as much time out recruiting this week because he's coaching the biggest Big 12 game all season. Again! Knowing this could be the case, he even asked the NCAA to change the rule to allow teams playing in conference titles to recruit on days coaches normally aren't allowed to do so to make up for lost time.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, we knew this was coming. You know, we even petitioned NCAA league, all that, a while back, thinking if you get qualified for your conference championship game, you ought to trying to get 1 or 2 more days recruiting, maybe even like that Sunday. You know, I'm sure all the teams that didn't think they were going to be in the conference championship voted it down. So, yeah, I think we had support for 10 teams. The other 50 didn't agree. Imagine that. So, yeah, it is. It's challenging. It's not good. You know, it's not good for the sport. It makes zero sense. You know, that you qualify for your championship game, but you're penalized in maybe the most important recruiting point of the year. So now we'll get the positive is, you know, hopefully those players know why we're not on the road as much. We're going to be out bits and pieces this week, but hopefully they know why we're out there, and at least, you know, and they'll be watching us on Saturday, you know, which is a good thing. So we'll deal with it. It's kind of the way the calendar fell, but I do believe it'll fall like this again at some point, and it is going to be something we're going to need to discuss, because having 1 week to be on the road before signing day is not, you know, it's not ideal.
Add this to the growing list of bureaucratic, annoying items the NCAA is responsible for. As for Riley's recruiting pitch during the conference title game, it's probably the same as Saban's was for that week 2 for nearly a decade. Check the receipts.